You're listening to the Masonic Light Podcast. Starring Pete Ruggieri, Larry Maris, and Jason Lewis. This podcast is not endorsed by any Grand Lodge, and the ridiculous ramblings of the hosts are their own. So sit back and enjoy some Masonic conversation without pretension. And now, here's your hosts, Pete, Larry, and Jason.
You're listening to Masonic Light Podcast. This is Pete with Larry and Jason. Hey, guys.
How you doing?
Hey guys, good to be here.
And our special guest somehow actually made it here tonight. We're going to get into that in a minute. Our special guest today is Russell Baker. I can't go on with all his different prefixes and suffixes because it's forever. But
Don't.
You're right. But how you doing, Russ?
Really good this evening now that I made it here.
Don't worry, Larry's going to sniff your apron later, so we'll get to it at some point.
Yeah, probably the biggest, or the biggest, the official job that Russ has right now. He's the Grand Almoner of the state of Pennsylvania for the Grand Lodge of Pennsylvania. Yeah, his resume's deeper and whatever, but we won't bore everybody. So what we do here, Russ, is we kind of talk about anything that's happened in our past week or two, anything since our last recording. So in a Masonic kind of sense.
Yeah, we recorded last week, so we had a pretty short time period. And this is episode 18, by the way.
Okay.
Even though we said that last episode was 16B, it technically was 17.
So what were you pretty involved in all the Scottish Rite stuff that happened this past weekend, or no?
Only as an observer. I was not involved with any of the planning, but I did visit both the valleys of Lancaster and the Valley of Reading on Scottish Rite Day.
Oh, nice. That's right. I saw you there.
Anything else kind of Masonic that you've done in the past week or two?
Not really. Did some studying on a degree that I'm in for Tall Cedars coming up in a couple of weeks. So,
and we're both missing the practice tonight.
And we are missing the practice tonight. But I just have a really small part. But it's a part. So
I have the second largest part, but I think I got it.
I'll make the final rehearsal.
Okay.
I'm really excited to see this degree live.
It'll be epic. I can't wait.
Epic. God.
I'm bringing rope to hang myself, probably.
Nothing like an epic degree.
So, Jason, what have you had going on in the past week or so?
Oh, well, I couldn't go to Philadelphia with you guys because I was at the very, very busy Valley of Lancaster at our Scottish Rite Day. But it was very fun. It was fun to do the couple tours I did get to do, and I saw, obviously, Russ and a handful of other brothers there. It was a pretty quick week. Blue Lodge stated meeting, I think we talked about that last episode, so nothing much, really.
Larry, do you do anything? Any new injuries?
No. Well,
Yes.
Yeah, I broke a tooth. Other than that, ended up at the dentist today.
Every week, Larry has some sort of medical issue, and we like to recap them for posterity.
The thing is, I didn't really know I broke it, and I do wear a partial. And I took the partial off, and I saw this hole. And what the hell happened there? So I had no clue. Oh, and I'm not in any pain, so I had no idea.
Speaking of not hurting yourself, we totally forgot what we did Saturday night.
No, I was getting to that. Pete threw me an angle there, But you're talking about Masonic. Jason and I were a guest on Brought to Light podcast out of Victoria, Australia, which has a fine listening audience, and we had a fantastic time being interviewed by none other than Jack Nathan Aquilina. And I tell you, this guy is great. His podcast is fantastic.
Why do you say his middle name so much?
I don't know.
Russ, Jack is a younger Mason. He's probably in his 20s.
Early 20s, yeah.
Yeah, and he's kind of responsible in Australia for kind of making Blue Lodge sort of fun again. And it's like Pennsylvania where there's no fun to be had in Blue Lodge, but having the guys socialize outside of Lodge.
But the interview was excellent. It was a lot of fun. We were online with him for a good hour and a half.
Yeah.
And we definitely injected some Masonic Light, L-I-T-E, into his Brought to Light.
Yeah, and this episode is now playing on the internet. It's broughttolight.com, and it's episode 19.
I believe so. Yeah.
Episode 19.
It was live today, which will be a week ago by the time our listeners hear this.
Yeah, it was awesome. I listened to it this morning, and it was really great.
I had something kind of exciting on Saturday, but I think I'm going to defer a major portion of the discussion of that until Jack's here. I was at a gentleman from our lodge is joining his son, and he's also in Grotto, Sean Spinagle. His son, Ethan, is joining the military. And they got 2 special dispensations from the Grand Master. One was to do all the degrees in one day. Actually, I think it's written that you don't have to wait the allotted time between the first and the second and the second and the third. Then, like, basically he's magically starts out as a fellowcraft. Is that right, Russ?
I think you're right.
Yeah. So, and then the second dispensation was to be able to do the degrees at an address that's not where our lodge is. So we were able to do our degree in the Grand Lodge of Pennsylvania.
Oh, that's the dispensation to move your charter.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Didn't you do it in Egyptian Hall?
yes, and
Oh,
it
wow.
was
That's
so
fantastic.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, Russ, you've spent lots of time there at the Grand Lodge for different offices.
I think my favorite thing about Egyptian Hall is the master's chair actually makes a person my size look normal size.
Almost.
And your feet don't touch the ground.
Nope.
Actually, Egyptian Hall has a special place in my heart because the first time I went to Grand Lodge, my lodge, Howell Lodge number 4 and 5 in Honeybrook, we got permission to do a degree in Egyptian Hall, and it was an apprentice degree.
Oh, neat.
And that was like in 1978 or 9. Yeah, somewhere in there.
Egyptian Hall has some significance for me as well. In my book, The Red Serpent.
You're old like a pharaoh.
No, The Red Serpent. There's an entire chapter devoted to which was a form of the old Egyptian rite that Freemasonry used to practice many, many, many years ago. And I used the Egyptian Hall as the backdrop for that particular chapter. So significance for me as well. It's absolutely
room.
beautiful.
Yeah.
All right, we're just gonna.
It's beautiful. Is that the word for the show?
That's it. Beautiful.
Beautiful.
We're just gonna
Absolutely
take
beautiful.
a very short break, and we're gonna come back, and we're gonna have our interview with Russell Baker. Thanks.
All right.
Hey there, listeners. This is Pete, and I wanted to tell you about MasonicScarves.com. Masonic Scarves offers full-color knitted soccer-style scarves, perfect for you to wear to lodge, out casually, or even to display in your home. I currently have in our lineup pretty much every Masonic body from Blue Lodge, York Rite, Scottish Rite, Grotto, Shrine. If you think about it, I probably have it. Are you a turtle? Well, you bet your sweet ass I have a scarf for that. So you can easily order online with a credit card, and I'll generally have your scarf in the mail the next business day. Do you need an easy fundraiser for your lodge or organization? I can have a custom scarf design delivered to you in about 4 weeks, as long as you order a minimum of 50 pieces. I can help you with the artwork, and you'll have an original item that you can sell or hand out as a gift for visitors or past masters. Visit MasonicScarves.com or drop me an email at info@MasonicScarves, and I'll be glad to help you. Hey, and we're back with our Masonic Late podcast, and our special guest today is Brother Russell Baker and Grand Almoner of the Grand Lodge of Pennsylvania.
What's the official long name of the Grand Lodge of Pennsylvania? I know you know it.
Grand Lodge of Free and Accepted Masons.
And the right worshipful blah blah blah, and the jurisdictions belonging thereunto or something like that.
That's not a name.
Yes, it is.
That's part of the Grand Master's title.
Oh, okay.
Is the Right Worshipful Grand Master of the the most ancient and honorable fraternity of free and accepted Masons in Pennsylvania.
So by default, that makes you the Grand Almoner of the blah 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 blah.
No.
No. We tried.
No, because there's only 2 grand officers who are grand officers in Pennsylvania, 2 of the elected Right Worshipful Grand Officers, and that's the Right Worshipful Grand Master and the Right Worshipful Deputy Grand Master. The other 4 Right Worshipful Grand Lodge officers are of Pennsylvania. Well, I didn't write this stuff.
And Pennsylvania is the only state that uses Right Worshipful. instead of most worshipful, right?
Pretty much, yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's right.
And a lot of people
Well,
say
there's-
worshipful brother. Is that a past master? Is that a title for? I know Prince Hall calls everybody worshipful brother.
Jack Aquilina calls me worshipful brother because in Australia, a master mason is referred to as worshipful brother. Same in England, same in Scotland.
But then he said you got a promotion, which made it sound like he assumed you
No,
were past
worshipful
master.
brother is a very common name used for masons in Europe. So
In any event, back to Russ.
Russ, years ago, Larry sat in at the Grand Lodge of England, and he fell asleep.
Oh my God, somebody's got to tell this story. I've been waiting for this
Well, we're
story
gonna
to
we're gonna
surface.
interview Russ.
Did they evict him or
No, but he fell asleep, and he missed the part where they said anyone who hasn't received the word has to leave. So he wakes up and he's in the middle of a past master degree that he wasn't eligible to listen to. So he just shut up and just rolled with it.
Yeah.
couldn't understand a damn word of it anyway. So, and the
right.
guy getting the master's degree was Scottish, so that even made it worse.
So Russ, thanks for coming.
Thank you for asking.
You had a difficult time coming tonight.
I did. I started out really fine. I was way ahead of schedule because I gave myself a lot of time, and
And then you got some bad directions, I hear.
then yes, I had some bad directions. I got directions to turn left or turn right, and that wasn't right.
He's talking about you, Larry.
The irony of this is the guy that gave you directions was an air traffic controller in the Navy. And Russ is retired U.S. Navy.
Thank goodness I was not on any carrier that he was on,
All right, I'm going to back off.
or
with,
maybe not even at a naval air station.
That's why during Vietnam they allowed him to protect Key West. And that was it.
Key West and Morocco, yeah.
All right,
Key
Larry,
West and Morocco.
Larry, I'll let you drive.
Oh, cool. Well, Russ, actually, I can call you Chief because you're my chief. And welcome. It's going to be a great show with you. And I know we've tried for weeks to get you on with your absolutely busy Masonic schedule, so it's good to have you here.
Thank you.
We want to talk a little bit about, well, first off, let me tell you, and Pete didn't bring this up, and we don't want to spend too much time on it, but you were involved in the northern jurisdiction of Scottish Rite. You've held some positions there. I know you've been involved, you're 33rd degree Mason, and I know I've seen you at so many different degree works for consistory as well as for Lodge Perfection. I've seen you go through the Arch of Swords. I mean, it just, it just goes on and on and on and on and on. But what I want to say is the fact when you were announced as being Grand Almoner, my thoughts were, and I think everybody else that knows you too, was that was an excellent choice. So in your new position, what do you plan on doing to make a program that I've always thought has been stagnant for years come alive again?
Well, we didn't really have a almoner program. We kind of left it up to lodges to help their brothers. We've had the Masonic outreach program for many years. I think I was involved with that back in the late 90s as an admissions counselor for the Masonic Village in Elizabethtown. So now even the outreach program has become more involved in everything. But this Grandmaster, Brother Raymond T. Dietz, Right Worshipful Grandmaster, knows that we have brothers that need help. And so the lodges have some funds, charity funds, but he has mandated in his decision 5315 that effective December 26th of this year, every lodge will assess every member $5 to go into the Lodge Almoner Fund, which comes under their charity fund. It's not it doesn't have its own checking account, but
It's dog-eared funds out of the charity accounts, I suppose.
you can do that.
Yeah.
Right.
Let me ask about the $5 assessment, because I know there's been a lot of confusion about whether that's mandatory or not. So, because my lodge did not, because we knew that we could get those funds by not doing that. Is that permissible? I mean, we're talking about not doing it, Russ.
It's it's a play on words. I'm going to say that I think you can. I'm pretty sure you can take it out of your charity fund, but you need to try to get the $5 assessment from every member,
Right.
and you should have an amount equal to that. Like if you have 100 members,
Right.
you have $500,
Right.
and you're supposed to use 50% of that each year.
Each year, right.
Or
Right,
Almoner
and that's
fund.
in our dues notice. There was an option to donate to that, but we knew from other fundraising events that if we just asked for $5, we're just going to get $5. Where I think that the gamble was, we know that if we don't put a dollar amount on there, we might turn out better.
Larry, anything else?
Oh yeah. I got
Wake
lots, I got lots. I thought you were gonna
Wake up.
ask about. I thought you were gonna ask him something. What is your actual? I don't want to call it a job description, but what is your job? What are you supposed to? What are your goals and objectives? What has the Grandmaster laid out and said, Russ, this is what I want you to do? Tell us about that.
My job is to help lodge almoners understand what their job is. I have no funds available. I don't. In a previous job that I had as a Grand Almoner, I wrote checks to our brothers in the Scottish Rite. Well, it wasn't just Scottish Rite that brothers that we helped. We helped all Masons and families and widows. But my job, my direction is to assist lodge almoners in the performance of their duties, and if they have any questions, to answer them.
What do you see as a typical instance where you might want to help someone out? So I mean, yeah, we're not talking.
You mean help a lodge almoner or help a
No,
brother?
a brother, like a brother in need. What kind of brother having what kind of?
It could be a medical emergency. It could be a fire. Could be a brother was laid off from work and his income just ceased. Just about anything that would necessitate a brother needing help with financial help.
Yeah, I just think it's nice. We've been raising so much money for everybody under the sun.
We
forever.
need to help our members. Yeah, that's the bottom line.
That's true. I think after every meeting, we put money in a jug or a jar out in the vestibule or whatever you call it.
The change for troops.
They change for troops. I think we've raised close to $1 million on
It's
that.
over $1 million. And that's great.
And if we can do that for them, we should be able to do something like that.
But that
for our
that's
people.
helping our brothers' families.
That's right.
That's
right.
That's a big help.
A lot of folks in the armed services are Freemasons.
I was just talking to a brother actually yesterday that had gone to one of the baby showers that the Grand Lodge holds for members' wives who are expecting and their husbands are deployed somewhere. And he says just amazing what we're doing for the families, especially expectant mothers.
Russ, there seems to be a lot of overlapping conversation between the Grand Lodge's Almoner's program and the Scottish Rite Almoner's program. And obviously the end result and the people that we're helping are the same people, but are there any big differences between those two programs?
To me, there's major differences. The Scottish Rite Almoner's Fund does solicit funds from the membership, all the Scottish Rite valleys in the Northern Masonic jurisdiction. The Almoner's Fund is supplemented by our Supreme Council with at least $500,000.
It seems like the Scottish Rite does a lot of the heavy lifting, like the real major concerns. And
They have. When they had the what was the flooding? Just recently
Down in New Orleans?
No. Well, we did help New Orleans back when they had one of those hurricanes, Katrina, or one of those.
it was it Sandy on the East Coast?
Sandy was on the East Coast, New Jersey and New York, and we meaning the Scottish Rite, Sovereign Grand Commander, allocated $1 million for each state. But we actually wrote checks for more than that and helped them. And we were right on the scene almost immediately with gift cards, especially in New Jersey, to the people right along the coast. So because they didn't have any houses, they didn't have any food, so we were giving them gift cards, these $500 gift cards, and maybe 3 or 4 or 5 of them, so they could get at least get food and place to stay.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think but Masons by nature, we are humble and we don't talk about the good things that we do because we don't want to be boastful. But at a certain point, we almost need to let people know the good stuff that we do. Is that a challenge, or do you?
That is a challenge unless we have some kind of publicity system to get involved with that.
Larry's waving his arms again.
Larry has to tinkle or something. All right, we're gonna take a 30-second break. We'll be right back. The Red Serpent by Larry Maris. One man's obsession to avenge the death of his wife uncovers a long-hidden, ancient blueprint to perfect the world for future generations. Visit www.larrymaris.com. You can purchase this book anywhere except CVS. Welcome back, everybody. It's Pete once again from Masonic Light Podcast. We're back from break, where I was trying to choke all of our other hosts from talking too much about all kinds of irrelevant things and not talking to our guest.
I got it on B-roll.
Yes, episode 19 is we have our first ever kind of grand officer on our show, and we're just talking about crap. So, Russ, speaking of crap, you are a Sheik of Ubar.
I am.
So, as you are, we get into your little Masonic resume a little bit. I mean, you're in all these austere bodies, from Allied Masonic degrees to things I'm sure you're in that I don't know about or haven't heard of. But you were very into joining this kind of nonsense outfit of Ubar.
Yeah.
What kind of drew you to that?
Well, I'm always looking to have fun. I might be in the grand Almoner and the assistant grand marshal and the deputy for Scottish Rite at one time for Pennsylvania, but I still like to have fun. And
Grotto seemed like a place to do it.
Oh,
And Grotto is the place to do it. Sometimes it gets a little bit carried away. But
Well, yeah. a little bit.
sometimes.
So where have, now the Navy took you all over the world. Pretty much.
The Far East and into...
But your Masonic career started after the Navy.
I was in the Navy when I
okay.
became a Mason, but I was stationed at the Navy Recruiting Command in Arlington, Virginia. And basically all I did was come to my home lodge in Honeybrook and got my degrees. I didn't get involved with anything in the lodge till I retired in 1976. And then I retired in October, and I went to a November meeting and then a December meeting, and they said, "Hey, you want to help? You know how it works."
Made eye contact.
Well, yeah, we won't give you much to do. Maybe guide somebody or sit in a chair here or there.
Yeah, 5 years later, you're master.
Then I was hooked. And it was about 6 years.
Now, you've done a lot with the Scottish Rite. You've traveled to many countries as an official or representative.
I traveled to Greece for the 49th Conference of Sovereign Grand Commanders of Europe and Associated Countries. And there were Sovereign Grand Commanders from all over the world at this meeting. It was pretty fantastic.
That just sounds neat. Now,
And the reason I got to go, my wife and I'll tell you this. The Sovereign Grand Commander, John William McNaughton, visited Pennsylvania at our Council of Liberation, and him and his wife were there, and they called Faye and I into his suite to talk to us. Then he brought up about this conference of Sovereign Grand Commanders, and it was going to be held in Athens, Greece, the following May, and this was almost a year before that. And he said, "You are our representative to Greece," and my wife doesn't fly, so would you represent us in Greece? I said, yes, I will, Sovereign Grand Commander. In about 1 second, it took me to. I didn't even ask my wife.
And so she didn't fly with. She didn't or did?
My wife did.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, but my wife went, but the Sovereign Grand Commander.
His wife doesn't
His
fly.
wife was the one
I
that didn't
gotcha.
fly. No, I probably didn't make that clear. But anyway, it was fantastic meeting all these not foreign, but other Sovereign Grand Commanders from other countries. And not only did we have official meetings, we had a lot of good times. Learned to drink ouzo.
And dance.
And dance, yeah.
I like licorice that will get you drunk.
Did you break plates or anything? Or is that just a movie?
No, I didn't break plates.
okay.
Larry wasn't there.
Yeah, I break everything.
But I've not traveled on official business to many other places. One of the other bodies I belong to is the York Rite College, and this year they had their annual meeting in Vancouver. Next year it's in Dallas.
Dallas.
Not Dulles. Dallas.
And for the degree work in Scottish Rite, do you play a part in the play?
I've been in many of, not all of them, but I've been in a lot of degrees.
What's your favorite degree and your favorite part that you've been in?
My favorite degree is both the 15th and the 16th degrees, and I played King Cyrus and King Darius in both of those degrees.
You know, Russ, you have this uncanny skill, and you catch me every time, and I feel like a horrible person when this happens, but you have fooled me every time that you're dressed up. And I think that you go out of your way to say hi to me. You were Santa Claus, no clue that it was you. And then you were dressed up for something else, and you said hello, and it took me forever to figure out who it was. And I'm embarrassed every time, so I just wanted to personally say that I'm sorry for not recognizing you in costume.
Well,
But you're good at it.
a lot of times it's hard to recognize.
Except for the
people
Tall
in
Cedars
costumes.
banquet, where it was Halloween when we had the chicken pot pie. He was dressed up as a farmer with long golden hair and.
Oh yeah, no, that's when it was. Yeah, I mean, he practically had
You
to
didn't
grab me.
recognize him.
No, he grabbed me and he's like, "Hello, Jason." I'm like, "Ah, it's the Grand Almoner. I'm such a jerk."
You know, my thing was, oh my God, that's Russ Baker.
But all these, what I really appreciate about you, Russ, besides all the other stuff you do, like we had a trash cleanup this year for Ubar. You were right out there.
Oh.
I've got some health issues, but you just kept going. You and Abe.
Yeah.
But you don't think
Well,
it's
that
any
Abe was
lower.
pretty lucky.
Yeah, but you don't mind getting dirty, and you were just doing. Well, can you tell a little bit about your big project you just cleaned up from at the villages with the flags?
Oh yeah, right. At the Masonic Village, I think this is the 6th or 7th year on Veterans Day. For 10 days, right around Veterans Day, and up before Veterans Day, and then a few days after Veterans Day, the National Sojourners, chapter number 76 out of Harrisburg, we place an American flag for every service person that has been killed since 9/11. And this year there were 6,884 flags placed. So the sojourners, we go in there, and a lot of the residents of the village help us. We lay out a grid, 3-foot squares. That takes us a couple hours to get that all laid out. And we put on a large marker with a paint every 3 feet. And then a couple of days later, we go and place the flags.
You're never going to ask me to help, are you?
Anybody can help.
We'd still be setting up, Larry, not taking down.
But we did take down today. Today
Right.
was the takedown day.
Saw
We have
pictures.
an opening ceremony, and then on Veterans Day we had a larger ceremony in the Brosman Ballroom where we honored World War II veterans that were residents of the Masonic Village. I think there was somewhere around in the 50s, and 42 of them were able to attend the function.
World War II vets.
World War II.
Oh.
Yeah. Remember,
Wow.
this is the Masonic Village.
Yeah.
Where the median age is 80.
Well, I know. I mean,
Five.
I casually refer to it as God's waiting room.
Well, that's it.
But that just seems like a lot. But I guess they're in good health for
Yeah.
must be a good diet out there at the villages. There's no alcohol. I think that's what it is, right?
What do you mean there's no alcohol?
Oh.
Where did you ever hear that?
What you have in your apartment or your cottage is totally up to you.
Well, no, the dining halls have alcohol.
Do they?
Oh.
Just recently, though, right?
Yes, it's in the last year and a half, maybe.
And
2
you're
years.
and it's like
I need to
one or two
I
drinks,
need
right?
to rethink this then.
They watch you pretty closely. No, you're like, I'm Russ Baker. You just give me another beer.
I don't know.
Are you allowed to smoke a cigar on campus, or is
No.
that's
No.
forbidden?
No, there's no smoking.
At your not even at your cottage. Well, so you have to walk out.
Oh
of town.
no! Wait a minute. Now, in my cottage, I could smoke because I'm what they call grandfathered. I would live there before I lived there before they enforced that rule. They came out with that rule, so I can smoke in my cottage, but I don't.
So
My wife would kick me out.
right, I was gonna say you could walk around in your Bermuda shorts with a cigar and just act like a boss to your neighbors.
No, I don't do that.
Yeah, I like that picture of you when you visited your daughter in Florida. You're sitting on the patio chair with a drink on the thing, and you're smoking your cigar. And right in the pond in back of you, eyeing you is a damn little alligator.
Yeah, it was.
I'm thinking, hey, Russ, fall asleep, Russ.
My daughter said that the alligators never come close to their lanai.
So you fall asleep once, just once.
Have you ever counted how many dues cards you have
No.
per year? Like how many active things are you writing checks out for?
Too many.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a fun game. I like to play that with my wife. Not really.
I just finally convinced my wife that because we give a lot to charity. She believes in tithing, and but instead of giving it to her church, every month we pick a different charity. So I kind of said, well, between my time and the Masons spend this money on good things, so I finally convinced that my dues come out of like the joint family account and not the Pete account.
Wow.
So yeah, so I get a few extra dollars for an occasional glass of bourbon.
Well, I drive Uber on the side here and there. I don't know if I really do it for fun or what I do it for, because it's kind of a pain. But I'll do a couple rides or drive for a couple days, and I go, well, there's Blue Lodge, and then drive for another week or two and go, well, there's Grotto.
Oh, so why don't we take another quick break? We're going to come back, and Jason's got a game for us.
All right, we are going to play 30 seconds with Russ Baker. Larry, don't put 30 seconds on the phone. I don't trust you. Get Pete in his phone.
I can add. I can look at the clock,
Okay.
and I can add 30 seconds.
All right, we're going to cue up some music. All right, so Russ, here's how this works. I have about 7 questions. We're going to try to get through them all. They're and/or. Just pick your favorite out of the 2 options, and hopefully we'll get through all 7. So, Pete, tell me when you're ready. All right, cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Scottish Rite or York Rite?
Scottish.
Shrine or grotto?
Grotto.
This is for Larry. Well, it's for Russ, but Almoner or Almoner?
Almoner.
Chicken pot pie or prime rib?
Chicken pot pie.
Tall cedar introductions or district deputy comments?
Tall cedar. District. Neither one.
And we're probably. Oh, I think we're.
that was-
But I got to do it anyways. GPS or Larry Maris?
GPS.
All right, that was 30 seconds with Russ Baker. And we're back.
Hey, everybody. We are back, just like Jason said. We're going to be fishing up here with our guest, Russell Baker. Russ, thanks for coming on today. Appreciate it.
Thank you for inviting me.
What do you have coming up, say, in your next few months Masonically? Anything big and exciting?
The Grand Lodge quarterly communication on December 7th in Philadelphia. It's not an election year. We're not changing grandmasters this year, so it'll just be more receiving reports, and probably the grandmaster will be giving out awards, and they're having a banquet on that evening.
And the new banquet hall is beautiful.
Yes.
1 North Broad.
Yep. Benjamin Franklin is.
It's a
Prominent
huge.
in
Did
there.
you see my picture?
I saw
yeah.
I saw pictures.
It's a 30-foot tall bronze Ben Franklin.
Larry, how do you think they paid for that?
How'd they pay for that?
Yeah.
No clue. Money from France? I don't have an idea. Extortion? Tell me. I don't know. You know?
I just for the last couple episodes, you've had this idea of how those things got paid for.
It's a loser.
I set them up and for the alley oop and nothing.
Yeah, nothing.
Sorry, I'm not with it.
It's the
Tell me how they get paid for it.
1 day class.
Oh, never thought of that. You're right. Whoa.
You've been saying that for the last
my God.
like 4 episodes.
Oh, there you go.
Larry's been railing against the 1 day class over the past 4
I'm
episodes.
sorry. I'm sorry. My head hurts tonight. Really does.
So how's your tooth?
Broken all over the damn place. They were fixing my teeth today and it fell all apart in their hands. Damn.
So what are they gonna do?
I'm gonna go back the end of November. They're gonna take it out. There's nothing there but a stump.
Too bad.
And the thing about it is, it's
You were
not-
at the urologist?
It's not painful. A urologist.
You were at the urologist?
Dentist.
I was
Pete,
at the dentist this morning.
How are your teeth, Russ?
Perfect.
We'll see. Yeah, those good Navy docs kept you going.
They did.
And my dentist in Columbia is a retired Navy doc,
Oh, really?
and he is pretty scary. No anesthesia.
You know, Larry, there's this cartoon called Futurama, which you should watch. And all the famous people from It's in the Future, shocker because of the name, but all the famous people, their heads are preserved in little jars, and they have little microphones in the jar, and they, so Nixon and everybody. So that's gonna be you hosting the show 20 years from now with us. We decided on Jack Aquilina's show that when Larry decides that it's time to hang it up, that we're gonna have interviews to replace him, like in The Voice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Any other travels, Russ? Anything for Scottish Rite?
No, I do have a trip out to Pittsburgh next month, but I can't really say what it's about.
Right. Okay.
It's a surprise.
Sounds good. Larry, you have anything coming up?
Getting a new shoulder the 13th of December. So that'll be the third non-human part in my body. So, I'm going for a fourth.
What's the date on this?
December 13th.
Larry, you may have to reschedule that. We have a show.
Yeah.
I
Damn
can
it,
do-
Larry, don't you
I
know?
can do the show. We can do the show remotely from my hospital bed.
Wow.
That could be fun.
Yeah.
You excited?
I'm excited.
Okay.
Well,
Jason, do you have any surgeries coming up or anything Masonic?
no surgeries coming up. Thank goodness. Not that I know of. Masonically, Scottish Rite tomorrow night. Thursday is my lodge's banquet, and Sunday, vote for Lewis, Venerable Prop. I can't even say it. I'm not gonna. Fulton's gonna kick my ass. Venerable Prophet is what I am running for at Grotto. And
It's actually the November and December meeting. It's December 5th is our Grotto meeting.
What do you mean, November 5th?
December 5th.
Oh, gotcha. That's right, because
Yeah.
it moved.
Yeah, so because being right around Thanksgiving, we were scared that our attendance was going to be kind of late because a lot of people go away that week after Thanksgiving.
Right.
Well, they go hunting, too.
Yeah, and it's the hunting season, which in Pennsylvania is a huge deal. And the week prior, we were going to bump up a week, but our caterer was booked.
Right. Well, that's good because I have 2 more weeks to campaign. So,
Yeah.
So it's not next week.
It's November and December. It's the 5th of November.
The 5th of December.
no.
December.
Yes.
Remember,
We're
the 5th
past
of
the 5th
December.
of November.
Well, I'm glad I got that notice.
Christ, between our calendars and our navigation.
And I probably did get the notice, but I haven't read them.
December 5th will be a Grotto, voting for Venerable Prophet for me.
December 5th.
And our other candidates are either Jacob Young or Jeff Fulton.
And one other guy, right?
Yeah, not Dick Miller. I don't know. He came to his first meeting and he nominated himself.
Was it Dick Miller?
I think it's Dick Miller, past master.
No, yeah, past everything.
Oh yeah. What else was he?
He's passed all the York-Rite bodies.
Okay. Well, nobody. I mean, he probably won't win because no.
Worshipful Master in Mark Lodge and
Wow.
Reading.
So he's actually qualified. That disqualifies him. If he's qualified, then he's disqualified.
Actually, he was Worshipful Master of Lodge number 322 in Westchester in the late 70s. And I was just like junior warden or one of the deacons or something when we went to a visitation at his lodge.
Well, that's
Interesting.
perfect.
Well, we got competition. But Jeff and I have been having a campaign poster battle on the internets. So I need to update my poster this week.
Larry, do you want to close us out here?
Absolutely. We'd love to.
He's
Well,
fiddling.
I do want to thank our guest, Russ Baker, for showing up tonight, even with bad directions. Also, too, this is the time that I give thanks to Monarch Studios for actually letting us record in this beautiful place. Thank you, Pete, for all the work you've done.
It's a former garage. Yes.
It's a former garage, but I'll tell you what, it's nice. It's really nice. I don't see the bourbon anywhere. It's kind of strange.
It's up on the bar, but I have firearms over there.
Okay, yeah, you do.
If you find my
Beretta
headphones
hanging right there.
laying around.
Oh, yeah.
Our producer, Jason Lewis, again, thanks for everything you do. Again, I did thank Russ Baker, and it's on here again, which I won't. Russ, thanks again for being here.
Remember the part about not tapping anything on the table?
He wants to thank Russ for the 5th time.
Yeah, for the 5th time. And Jack Harley, who's not here tonight, I understand he'll be contacting us this week with a news report. Jack, we miss you. Also, too, our budget director, Sasha Titus. We want to thank Sasha. Does a lot of work.
Sasha Titus?
Yes,
Oh.
Sasha Titus.
My.
I got it. I got the joke that time, Larry.
I got it. You
Larry,
got
that
it.
might be the first time you made a funny, and I actually laughed.
What website did you find her on?
And what site did I find her on? Never mind. It's just something I came up with. Our audience response advisor, Lukewarm, and our appointment secretary, Stu Early. Our office manager, this phone's
Larry,
ringing.
you're on a roll. You made me
Did
laugh twice.
you do these or did your wife do them?
No, I did. Our office manager, Viola Fuss, and our grammar consultant. Now, this is very important. Our grammar consultant, I am Shirley Wright. Okay? And recognition to the law firm that is still with us. I don't know how. Blast and Boomer out of Washington. And folks, this is Larry Maris. Thanks for listening.
Jason Lewis.
Pete Ruggieri, and
Russ Baker.
thank you, everybody.
Have a good night.
Good night. So, a couple house rules, Russ. This table everything's really sensitive. So, try to not bang the table or any of that fun stuff. If you got to move your mic around, it's going to make noise.
All
So,
I need to do is bang Larry.
Right.
that is not what she said.
Not bang, bang, but the other bang.
Can we get the microphones on so we can get some of this?
Way ahead of you. Don't worry.
Okay. I'll introduce you. We let Larry do most of the interview. When he starts rambling, we reel him in. He has a tendency to talk about the guest and never let the guest talk. So I can't hit him because he'll bleed. All right, guys, we're welcome back. We're here on the Sonic Lake podcast of Monarch. I don't know what I'm saying.
Hang on. You want to do that again?
Yeah, we'll do it over.
All right, anyway, stop that.
So, if they're hitting me, what are they doing? What could they be doing with?
I think Pete's going to hit you.
I know. I'm just going to get a stick so I can push the fader down on Larry's mic.
Yeah, it was done by the time I could
All right.
repair my eardrums.
You bozos, are we ready to go back live?